So this is my rollout rack for my Packout toolboxes. I'm in the shop, I just finished up this build, I'm super happy with it and excited to get this thing onto the van. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of Packout. I mostly have drawers, but there are still some tools that don't fit in those drawers, so I need to use these toolboxes. But it's such a pain if you have these things stacked together to try and get to the center. So I designed this unit. It's super simple to use. I have a lock holding each drawer closed, simple to open, and automatically locks when I push it closed. I put together a set of comprehensive woodworking plans that show all the materials list, the cut list, the dimensions, and can walk you through this process. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out those plans. I'll also leave a link for all the 3D printed parts that I decided to use during this build, that if you decide to use those as well, which you don't have to. And without further ado, let's get to building. It starts with taking a few sheets of plywood and making square cuts on all my pieces. I'm cutting everything a bit larger because I like to cut the final dimension on the table saw. But before that, I want to give each piece a square 90-degree corner so my table saw has something to reference off of. There are a few ways to do this. You can use a track saw if you have one and a framing square to mark the 90-degree angle. If you don't have a track saw, you can make one yourself. I recently posted a video on how to do that with just some scraps from around the shop. I'll leave a link for that on the screen. Here I'm using my 90-degree crosscut track from that video to make those initial cuts. I usually mark each piece to indicate which corner is the square corner, and then just stack them off to the side as I go. After you've made all your square cuts, I suggest you mark up the pieces so you know what's what. What pieces are the sides, the top, the shelves, the stretchers, and also mark which edge is the front edge for each piece. Once everything is marked, you can decide if you want to add some edge banding to the plywood to make it look a little nicer. Let's jump into the shop so I can explain your options. All right, guys, I'm not going to go through all the details of edge banding in this video because it's purely aesthetic. A couple of really important points, though. If you're going to do edge banding, do it now before you cut things to final dimension. What I mean by edge banding is what the edge of the plywood looks like. You can leave it fully exposed like this where you see all the different plies, which is totally fine. Or you can get something like this, which is a pre-attached glue to an iron-on edge band. So then this veneer gets sealed with just a standard iron. Or you can use my preference, which is to cut up strips of hardwood and attach them to the edge. I think it's the most durable. But again, I'm not going to go into that into this video. I have another video coming out that's going to show you my process for attaching these edge bands. And when that video is ready, I'll leave a link up here on the screen. You can use the track saw or your DIY track saw for all your cuts. But if you have access to a table saw, you can make everything a lot quicker and it's much more accurate. So that's what I'm going to do here. Using my cut list, I finished the length and width cuts for all my pieces. Using my pocket hole jig and a drill, I go around to the back stretchers and the top and bottom panel, and I prep all the holes for the pocket hole screws. Next, it's time to assemble the carcass or frame. I use some long clamps to hold everything together. It's really important to make sure the box is square. Just use a tape measure to check that the diagonal measurements are equal. Then I use pocket screws to attach it all together. I don't show it in this video, but I do suggest that you add some wood glue to the joints to make it stronger. Okay, it's time to install the drawer slides. The layout is critical here. You want to make sure you leave enough room for each Packout box. In the plans, I give some recommendations for spacing the most common Packout units. As I mentioned earlier, I was really tight on space in my van, so I had to keep the units as close as possible, but not too close that they would interfere with being able to open and close the drawers. If you're not tight on space, just leave 3 to 4 inches above each bin and you'll be fine. Now I'm adding the back stretchers. If you were careful when you made your plywood cuts, then these should fit perfectly between the two side panels. Again, use some wood glue to increase the bond strength of the pocket screws. Just make sure to clean up that wood glue so it doesn't affect any finishing you do down the road. The final step of the frame is to add the wheel blocks for the bottom. I show these blocks in the plans, but I don't do it here. That's because the dimensions were too tight on my van. If I added the wheel blocks, then I wouldn't have been able to fit it up my ramp. And that was really important for me. But if you have the space, I strongly suggest adding those blocks to hold the bottom together. It makes a much stronger base. Now I'm going to finish off the plywood before I go any further. You can skip this step and leave it unfinished if you want, but I would like this unit to hold up a little longer over time, so I'm giving it a coat of Odie's oil to seal the wood. It's a really simple process. I sand all my plywood to 220 grit, then I give it a very light coat of Odie's oil. This stuff is pretty expensive, so you don't want to use more than is necessary. You just need enough to seal the surface and evenly change the color of the wood. Then I leave it for about an hour, and then using a cotton rag, I buff off as much as I'm able to. It's definitely a workout to get this oil applied and buffed, but it gives a pretty nice finish, and I was able to finish this entire unit in about an hour and a half. Alternatively, you can try this method. It takes a bit longer, but it's cheaper, easier, and I think it feels nicer to the touch. Once again, I sand the plywood to 220 grit. I apply 3 coats of shellac. No need to sand between coats because unlike polyurethane and many other finishes, shellac basically melts into itself. After the 3 coats, I sand the surface with 320 to 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth it out. Then using a rag, I apply a very thin layer of paste wax. I leave it for 20 to 25 minutes and buff it off with a clean rag. To me, this finish just feels the best. But again, this is for a functional piece, so does it really matter? That's why I say the finishing process is really optional. Then after everything is dry, I can go back to installing the drawer slides using these screws that came from the manufacturer. Now I have to mount the slides to the drawers. This is a little tricky. The problem with mounting to the edge of plywood is that it's not very strong. Screws don't hold well and you're likely to split the wood. So here's my solution. I use threaded inserts. It starts with marking out the holes using the metal slide as a template. Then I use a center marking gauge that I 3D printed to give me the center line of the plywood. Once it's all marked out, I drilled pilot holes using a 1/4-inch Forstner bit. I think the Forstner bit works best because it gives a nice clean hole and doesn't move around on that fragile plywood edge. I use 832 threaded inserts with a flush head. This makes sure nothing is proud of the surface after they are installed, unlike many other threaded inserts that have a surface flange. I'll leave a link below for the ones I use. It's critical that you apply epoxy to the outside of the inserts. The 1/4-inch bit is a very loose fit. That's intentional because I want room for the epoxy to grab. I'm just using 5-minute epoxy that I picked up from the local hardware store, but you can use any epoxy that works with both wood and metal. Just make sure you leave enough time for the epoxy to fully dry before moving to the next step. And you can use a little denatured alcohol to clean up any squeeze out. All right, let's talk about these docks. I wanted to be able to utilize the Packout locking system without having to buy those Milwaukee mounting plates. They're much wider than this unit, and they're very expensive if I have to buy one for every single Packout. So instead I designed these. They come with these little tabs on the front to help line everything up to the front edge of the drawer. It has a center mark, so all you have to do is find the center of the drawer, clamp it down, and add some 5/8 screws. Then you can snap off that front piece. I made 2 sizes. The large is for the full width Packout and the small is for the half width Packout. I also designed a little pull tab to make it easier to grab the thin drawer. I'll leave links down below for all of these. You can either print them yourself, order them from my website, or just skip it entirely and just make a little lip for the edge of the shelf so that the Packout doesn't fall off. It's totally up to you. Using some 832 truss head screws, I mounted the metal slides to the new threaded inserts. I repeated this process for each of the drawers. Then I just installed the drawers into the unit. Now it's time to install the drawer locks. I designed these to be super simple as well. Just hold them up to the shelf and mark the holes. I used a small shim to give a little space between the edge of the shelf and the lock. I hold the piece up against the shelf. Don't push too tight or you'll create unnecessary friction which may affect how smoothly the drawer opens and closes. Drill some pilot holes and some 5/8 screws and you're done. These locks come as right-hand options and left-hand options, so you can put them on the top, the bottom, the left, the right. Depends on how you plan to open the unit. The last piece of the puzzle is to add the wheels. This is another optional step. If you're not planning to move the unit, then you don't need these, and therefore you don't need those wheel blocks either. I need the wheels because my goal is to put wheels on everything on my van so I can easily remove everything to load up materials or transport large objects like finished cabinets. Then I just add the Packout boxes and I'm done. Very happy with the build on this one. Now I can keep my large tools close at hand, not have to get to the center of a stack of boxes. Works really, really well. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.